Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. Podcast so bad, we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at Doc Simmons17. We got the crew here tonight. I'm going to give the hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media at the Hendricks brand. And of course, if you love your mama's favorite shooters together, look us up on Country Air Official for Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and Country Air Brand on the Twitter. And I'm going to pass it off to the senior official.
What's up, guys? Referee Perch. You can find me at PerchXLV, # for the ref brand, and Waffles Take It Home podcast.
Waffles, waffles, waffles. And before we get into our delicious breakfasts for the weekend, we have the return, the semi-regular host, semi-special guest. You know him, you love him. Introduce yourself, homie.
Well, it is your grandma's side piece, Baxter Belafonte. Yeah, I know you like that. She likes that.
Hey, somebody needs to remove them granny panties.
And I'm the man. Baxter Belafonte. If you want to find me online, it's at Baxter Wrestles, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and that's where you find me. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, brother? What's up? Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we start off? Perch brought it up. Any good breakfast this weekend, brother? Like, dude, I'm sure with the little one, you got to get up.
Just about every breakfast joint we could. We hit a little Waffle House. That was probably the best of all. We'll sum it all up by saying had the best damn sandwich at a Waffle House with a waffle to boot and a chocolate milk opted for. It was about 3 a.m. and the chocolate milk had never tasted better. Can be hit or miss sometimes with the crews working at the Waffle House. At this time was knocked it out of the park, 120%. Amazing experience. Can't wait to go back
chocolate
to
milk.
Yeah, chocolate milk, phenomenal. We hit up a little Tim Hortons one of the days too. Great coffee, great donuts from that place. Big fan of the Tim Hortons coffee. Yeah, some good breakfast all around.
Hell yeah. I have been a drunken mess all weekend, so I don't know what I ate. Time off is just easy to fall into those beers when you ain't got stuff to do and just chilling around the house. I'm sure I had breakfast, but don't remember. It was probably good. I didn't throw up all weekend, so it was decent.
Definitely went down one way.
Yep. So must have been pretty good. Anybody else got some breakfast they want to talk about?
Yeah. One of my favorite breakfasts that I tend to forget about, but I've been eating it lately. So it's an everything bagel with cream cheese, right? But then I put a fried egg with cheese on that, and it's a sandwich. And it's thick and it's messy, but it is fantastic.
Hey, no. I love me a good egg bagel sandwich.
Man,
I opt for the cinnamon raisin bagels with a fried egg on it. Delicious.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How do you like? Well, okay, well then here's the question: how do you like your eggs on your sandwich?
Oh, over easy. It's got to be runny.
Yeah.
I am scrambled 100% of the time.
You would be
possible. However, that sandwich I was referencing earlier, exactly how you said, and it was pretty damn good. It was pretty damn good.
Yep, gotta go with the over easy. I love when
so maybe 98% scrambled.
Okay. Just a little runny. We gonna break your spirit. we gonna get you there. We gonna get you there. Nah, my girl is the same. She's at the point now. She's at like about a 50%. She's a little bit solid, a little bit runny. But I want that bite and that explosion. It just coat the rest of my sandwich. Yeah,
it's on your hand too. Yeah.
Yep. I'm a messy eater. Love it.
Yeah.
So
As a man,
anti all of that. Anti everything you just said.
You know what? How do we kick him out of here?
Like you sound like my brother. My brother, loves messy things but doesn't enjoy the mess. So he also would probably be like a 98% solid, 2% running.
Yeah, and if I like it, I may sacrifice liking it for it. Yeah, just the mess of it all. Sorry.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's a mess, but God, it's a delicious one.
What was that? What was that ESPN show with the screens and like if somebody said something you didn't like, you got to mute them for 30 seconds?
Oh God, where the scores don't matter? Fuck.
Yeah,
I know
Tony
exactly
Reali
what
on
you're
the
talking
dial.
about.
yeah, I wanted to mute Perch for about 30 solid seconds right there.
The only show that I know that the points don't matter is Whose Line's It Anyway.
Yeah. It was
But
definitely a Whose Line Is It Anyway reference because it would kind of be structured
Around
that
the
way.
horn.
Around the horn.
Yes.
I almost said PTI, but it was around
Yeah,
the horn.
it was like PTI was closed. It was like, nope. That has a timer, but no mutes. No mute. Around the horn.
Tony
let me mute
Reali
myself
led
now.
into Will Bond.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God, yep. I haven't seen Around the Horn in forever. It's hard to watch some ESPN in the morning.
Especially when you're drunk and eating sandwiches you don't know you're eating.
Yeah. It's like I'm too busy cleaning egg off my hands to watch ESPN.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like cleaning off egg from your hands. It's not fun, but you know what is fun? Bangers of the week.
Ooh.
Merch.
Man, this week's Bang of the Week comes from a CD that I got off of those little mail-in, select the boxes on 5-10 CDs, and you send it in the mail. And then
there was an internet argument about if that was a real thing a couple days ago. It was.
So that's the thing. I didn't know it was a recent discussion.
Yeah, there was a recent discussion about people couldn't remember if that was actually real.
So I would select those things. I can see why they'd question it. Because you'd select those CDs, and send them in the mail, and legit, dude, like an envelope would come in the mail with every CD that I freaking selected, and then a couple more that I didn't know that were like a few random mom's picks. But it's like unbelievable. And it certainly existed. It was a bonus land as a child, legitimate like bonus things in life. And one of the CDs I got off it was one that I rocked this weekend. Alive, Counting Crows Across the Wire CD. It's a double live album with MTV and VH1 CDs.
Yeah. Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it was epic. A little MTV Unplugged and a VH1, Spotlight or something. Classic 97, 98 era. Rain King was the song in particular that I will pick off of this one as the banger of the week. Turned to this CD when I needed it the most, in the middle of the night on a drive home. And Rain King, when that song hits and it picks up, man, it just brings the Brighton mood into the car and into the life of the area, life of the party. Rain King off of that Across the Wire CD in particular was phenomenal. Great banger.
Who was the artist of Rain King?
The Counting Crows.
Oh, okay. I'm writing it down.
And if you don't want to write it down, you can always check the Take It Home podcast playlist on Spotify. Because we're hip like that.
Plug.
Did you say that was an MTV Unplugged CD?
Yeah. And the VH1, maybe Behind the Music. It was a classic booklet with two of them in there. One of them had the VH1 logo, the other had the MTV logo. And I think it was unplugged, and they were pretty much acoustic for the both of them. So I'm not sure what
it is hard for me to imagine Unplugged coming back in today's music scene.
I don't think bands even play the rock the instruments that it would take to...
It's not even the instruments. I don't think people sing without any type of voice distortion anymore. Is my thing. I think vocals, like, people will still play instruments. Your producers still play instruments, but the people doing the vocals, there's so much distortion out there now.
Maybe like private shows and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard because I always think back to that Jay-Z Unplugged Black album. That was
Yeah.
Mhm.
like I
Yeah.
think
Oh, I think this one was a TRL,
Mm.
Carson Daly intro zone during one of them. It was,
Oh.
and my favorite band, the Counting Crows.
Oh.
Carson Daly, just his tempered enthusiasm.
Oh yeah. Always so happy to be there.
Yep,
So
they had a
excited.
TRL session.
I was saying, like, I think the closest thing we have to like unplug now is those tiny desk concerts, which are very good.
Mhm.
But those tend to mostly be older artists, also. Because
Yeah.
NPR is for old people, so right up, right up my timeless alley. All right. Okay. Enough nostalgia and back when MTV was kind of good. Why don't we talk about what else we might have been watching this week or in a while? Because let's start with Baxter. I haven't seen you in a minute, brother.
You know what? I was actually prepared for this question. And this is not related to the topic that you brought up. But what I've been watching recently, you know how TikTok is like catered because of the algorithm and stuff?
Yeah, I hate algorithms.
Yeah, and they show you what they like think you want to watch, which is pretty accurate.
Yeah, which is decently accurate, which hurts me.
Yeah, because all of a sudden I'm on the can for like 45 minutes and I haven't even shit yet. But like I've been watching like some throwback, like Attitude Era clips, like for example, like Shawn Michaels' journey and struggle, like with addiction and like his comeback, and he kind of tried to come back. And then just yesterday I watched 2 biographies on I don't remember where some channel. It was first the Stone Cold biography, like where he came from, Stunning Steve Williams, and then it was Macho Man Randy Savage. And like I forgot about a lot of that stuff, and like some of that stuff about him, like putting cameras in Gorgeous George's apartment. Like I didn't know that shit.
I did not know that until you said it.
Dude, she like was at his house like cleaning his apartment, and then like opened up some shit, and she was like, oh, that kind of looks like my place. There was like 8 screens, I guess. And she's like, that is my place. And he was like straight, like creeping on her while they were dating for like years.
Oh, damn.
And he did some creepy stuff that kind of opened my eyes, but I love that kind of insider shit. So that's what I've been watching.
Hey, documentaries, they are always very interesting. They either are like, oh, this is an interesting fact that makes me love this person even more, or oh no, this is an interesting fact that makes me hate this person.
Man, the Ultimate Warrior one kind of ruined it for me a while back.
Yep. I was a huge Warrior fan, as a child, first getting into wrestling.
Right. But we didn't know, we're what, 8-10 years old, whatever.
No idea.
We just saw what we saw and we liked it.
Mm-hmm. They knew how to cater to me. Perch, what have you been watching?
Oh man, came across this one earlier today. Larry Sweeney promo on Eddie Kingston. I couldn't really tell you from where it was from, but a legitimate like 2 minutes of as real of a promo as you can feel. Just the emotion. Anytime I see guys cutting promos, I put myself in the perspective of us. What are we in it for? And this could be any one of us drawing up this kind of an emotion for it. It seemed like from the story he was telling, he and Eddie Kingston were pals, but the way he goes off for the minute and a half would make you believe that he still wants to rip his head off. And it's not like we're friends, let's do it together. Like he tells with his emotion, again, not a full story, but just compelling drive to what he says and what he has in him to make it like, I want to see this pay-per-view. I want to see this match. Incredible. Larry Sweeney, I've seen a handful of his clips over the past couple of years, whether it's the dancing in ring or the technical ability. In this case, it was a killer promo on Eddie Kingston. And yeah, one that I saved and I'll look back on several times to find that real emotion. Who knows? Maybe they drank beers together that night, but they did some good business through that 2 minutes right there. Then watching a lot of wrestling this week through a curtain. And
Yeah, you had a busy weekend. I'm sure we'll get into.
One of the coolest matches that I got to watch this weekend, Jordan Oliver against Kelvin Tankman. Those two opened up one of the shows, and I got to watch from behind the curtain and see how they really worked a story, really good storytelling through modern wrestling. Tankman and Jordan, a couple of good sized guys. Tankman definitely a super heavyweight, good size, and he packs a big punch. So I like to see the way a crowd reacts to a wrestler like Tankman. And Jordan Oliver is pretty put together. They put on a good show for the Evansville crowd, and myself included, watching for that one. And the other one was watching the Rock and Roll Express get that send off.
Yeah,
Pretty damn cool. Having the history of the few encounters that we've had with Ricky and Robert over the years. It was awesome to watch those guys come out and put on an amazing show.
Awesome. Zach.
So I watched Raw. I watched like the Eddie spot they did, the tribute for Eddie and all that. I didn't like Finn Balor in pants. I don't know why. It's weird. It just looks like plain leather pants. I know it's very odd to say like that, but there was that.
It's fine. I get it.
Yeah, I watched Money in the Bank. The tag match was unbelievable.
I gotta watch that tonight.
Yeah, I gotta watch Money in the Bank. I gotta at least watch that tag match because everybody has given it amazing hype, and I also have to watch whatever Angelo Dawkins did on Monday because that's also getting a bunch of love and hype.
Oh yeah, dude. It was I didn't really realize until commentary put it over, but Montez has gotten huge.
Yeah, he's put on some size.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize it, but I look back, I'm like, he put on a lot of size, and that tag match, that's definitely the match of the night. I mean, Liv Morgan had the moment of the night, but the tag match was definitely the match of the night. Montez dropping the F-bomb on pay-per-view. Clear as day. Was really good.
That's the time to do it.
Hell yeah. I watched a tag match, Motor City Machine Guns versus Austin Aries and Daniel Bryan. There's some things I stole and did at my show at the fair shows from that match. And I also was watching some Pure Rules match. One I enjoyed was actually another one with Gresham versus Silas. How they have the rope break rule?
Mm-hmm.
Silas literally picks up Gresham and just sat him on the ropes.
Did you force a rope break?
Yeah, and I was like, that's so clever.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, just the normal YouTube stuff, but those are the ones that stuck out.
Awesome. I have been watching a lot of our matches. Had a lot of free time, so studying art stuff.
Why do you hate yourself?
Yeah.
I watch that when I'm not on vacation to hate myself. You watch it when you're.
Yeah, so watch a lot of our matches to just be upset at things. Gotta talk about Blood and Guts last week, that main event, that finish. Eddie Kingston has the stretch plum on Jericho. Cesaro has the sharpshooter on one of the guys on 2.0. There's a tap, bell rings. Eddie thinks that Jericho has tapped, but no. Cesaro has tapped out the guy on from 2.0. So yes, they get the win, but Eddie is a little perturbed because that should have been his moment, but Cesaro came and took it. Just wonderful, like little piece of storytelling. Like perfect way to slowly build, because everybody wants to see Eddie and Claudio go back at it, but it looks like they're gonna take their time with it, and that was just like the perfect little ember to let you know. Especially since like their yelling match was like after the pay-per-view last week, or like wasn't shown really. So I think that was like a perfect little moment. Been watching trying to watch more Impact lately. So I watched a match between Saban and Kazarian from last week. That was really fucking good. Like they went about 20 minutes. Fucking clinic. I'm watching Against All Odds right now. Watching some old school 2007 Impact. Just remembering that, Impact is pretty solid and consistent usually. So, maybe not the highest of highs, maybe not the lowest of lows, but just, solid C plus the whole time. You can't be upset about it. Always entertaining. Some good stuff. So, but mostly just watching our matches, trying to come up with new stuff. How can we fix things and other stuff like that?
You kind of mentioned it, like, and I'll throw it out there, like we all watch our playback matches, and I think at least I watch my own matches with a little bit of cringe, because I think, and I know that I suck, but I know that I need to watch it to learn and, talk about ring positioning and moves I should have done and botches. But how do you guys feel when you watch your own shit?
So I'll give a perfect example of, what was it? I think it was Saturday. We did the Franklin Fair show. I did a triple threat. Talk about that later, but super pumped. I called Doc about some stuff.
I'll be right back.
I watched it back today, and I was like, God, that was weak. God, that sucks. Why?
Yeah.
So, dude, I'm like the hardest cricket. I don't ever like any of my matches. Like I talk about all the time in the podcast. I'll watch my match and I hate like a lot about it.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way
with you. Yeah, definitely like my worst critic.
But I like it because I like to learn from it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and that's it. I like to learn from it, so that's why it's like ripping off a Band-Aid, where it's like you have to do it. It may not feel good, but it's in your best interest, because we want to learn, and damn well it's a good spot to learn from. But it does hurt. It does it can hurt. However, was looking at a lot of tape, especially over the past couple of days, and taking this firsthand and trying to see how I view it. And I took the approach of trying to take just one or two things out of each match, instead of this sucks or this is cringeworthy, or as many times I wanted to look and watch through my hands. Just taking maybe one thing and applying that to the next time. So that was my approach, as opposed to giving myself an entire breakdown. Just taking maybe one or two things and then objectively try and watch the rest of it for the match, and to understand the flow a little bit. But yeah, that was my approach, at least yesterday and the day before.
Yeah.
We'll probably touch on this, Doc and I, but we'll probably talk about when we talk about things we did on the weekend and stuff. But besides watching matches and mostly find stuff we hate, I will say there was a match that Doc and I watched that we hated when we got done with the match, but watched it and thoroughly were entertained.
Yep. Don't worry. I'm going to do that to actually lead into. But
that's more rare.
Yes. So I am also mostly I just hate everything that I do. I don't really like any of it at all. I hate the way I just stand in the ring.
Man, preaching right now. I hate the way I stand.
Yeah, I just hate the way, anytime I'm just standing there, I'm like, you stand so stupidly. What is wrong with you? Nobody's ever going to like you. I am very hard on myself. And lately I have been trying to kind of do the Perch thing and focus on one thing. So in my watching of a lot of matches, I'm trying to watch guys that I think are maybe at like just a level above me. And it's like, all right, what am I seeing that they're doing that I'm not doing? What do I need to get to that next level of connecting with the crowd? So I've tried to at least focus it on what I think is maybe one problem, but it could be potentially a lot of other things. So I've been trying to get away from the everything you do is terrible. It's like, all right, well, why don't we just focus on what's the difference between somebody that you see that is at that next level and you, and match to match and see what they're doing and what you're not doing and see if you can improve on that.
Well, all Roman Reigns does is spear, so I'm trying hard to figure out what else.
Yeah. But
I don't think I could just hit Suplex City every day.
Yeah. And one of those things is making Perch actually brought it up, but it was making sure we have moments in a match. I think we have a lot of very good matches, but I don't think anybody remembers necessarily a moment from them. I think they remember the emotional, and I think it's also just a count of how we structure our matches. I mean, and me personally, like I always think of the emotional roller coaster I would like to take the fans on, and I do think they remember those, but I don't think we interjected enough moments that become memorable, and I think that's a problem. But with what I did this past weekend, was, like I said, watch some matches, and more importantly, I watched our AAW Alive match. Where I did have some moments, and I made sure I had some moments, and I tried to structure it, in that way where we have those emotional highs, but we just anchor it on these 3 moments. And like Zach brought it up, this is the match he was talking about. At the time when we came back after that, I was very upset with that match. That I would put that in one of my probably worst matches, and maybe not from botches, but just from getting out of it. I felt it was so fast. I felt we didn't, like, those moments didn't happen, that, on the watch back, like, oh no, we actually paced this pretty good. It's supposed to be a 5-on-5 tag match. It's a horrible 5-on-5 tag match, but if you think of it as a 10-man scramble, it's a pretty good 10-man scramble. It's a pretty damn good 10-man scramble. Our pace is actually worked out pretty well with just how, because everybody's pace is so different, and we made sure that everybody got a moment to shine. It actually ended up balancing things out. I think, like, anytime I felt like, oh man, things are really speeding up, somebody would come in and do something that kind of brought the pace down a little bit. You had a chance to suck the crowd in for a moment. So very enlightening experience. Like you said, it's very rare that you walk away from a match thinking that was terrible, and then it actually was pretty damn good.
Yep. Jump on top of that. Yeah, we thought, I remember just walking the back, and like how Doc said, like, we're like, man, if we were just like this moment was sunk in, I don't think the people got it. And then, like, when we watched it, we were driving up to a show, and we were like, whoa, yeah, that sunk in really well. All right, I'm getting this moment. I see that little stare off. Everything, it was great. Like, I mean, like Doc said, there was not a tag match. There was 0 tags. It was more of a lucha style tag match. If
anything, yeah. But I think because of how we focused on those moments, it made sense that it was not a straight tag match. Like, we focused on those moments and structured the match around that, and it ended up making sense that, yeah, there were no tags, because I'm a fucking hothead and I want Axel Rico's head on a fucking platter. And so fuck the rules. So I think it actually ended up working out with the story that we're trying to tell. So it was awesome. All right. But you know what? Since I started, I'll go ahead and continue as we talk about what we did over the weekend. So the one thing we did was we watched that match that dropped on a Thursday, as we were on our way to Second Wrestling up in Eagle River, Wisconsin for a camp show, like summer camp show. Camp, I'm not going to try to pronounce your name, but it started with an O.
Oshawa.
It's not. There are no T's in that name. There is a J. There's a J and a B somewhere.
Oshawa.
Yeah, something like that. But really got to say, awesome time. It was a hot ass day. It was a hot ass show. We were not outside. We were in like one of the buildings. And if you ever been to a summer camp, they're not paying for AC. So it was very hot and musty. But those kids had so much energy and were so hyped and had so many chants of their own, like just making up stuff. They were so into it. It was such a great time.
Yeah, we wrestled a tag team of the Slasher and Lore, right?
Scott Story and Heavy Metal Lore.
Heavy Metal Lore. And if you see Heavy Metal Lore, he looks like he could be Max Holliday's brother.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty much
straight up, they look alike.
Yeah, like I think if Lore ever came down to Brew City, he has to be in Whiskey Bent and just come out as like Max's brother and they could pull some twin magic.
Yeah.
But we did have that with him being Max Holliday's twin. He was obviously skyscraper compared to Doc. But by the time it was time to get to the hot tag, those fans were yelling heart over height.
No, yeah. Those kids were like, yeah, like that. Like I said, I don't remember the name. I can't pronounce the name of the camp, but they had a chant going, spelling out the name of the camp. They were there was a hairline chant for God, I forgot his name. Jordan, forget his last name, Minnesota wrestler, but first name Jordan, calling out his baldness. The kids were just super into it. It was awesome. It was definitely one of those like, yep, this is why you do it. This is why you do it.
Well, these kids never saw wrestling. Before we got into the camp, the kids were like, you just tell how oblivious they were to indie wrestling because they're like, man, I wonder if Rey Mysterio or Ryback would be here. And like that's who they were expecting, but they were still into it. So I mean, yeah, super cool experience. Second wrestling when we saw them start and a match I know caught both Doc and I's eyes were Bang Bros versus Grindhouse, formerly known as Best in the World. Like, man, these are the type of tags they got here. We want to be here. And the fact that we got to go there, debut. And Doc, what happened? Did we pick up a W?
We did pick up a W after a big old German suplex, maybe with an assisted super kick, and an Air Buddies to Scott Story. Country Air comes up with a W.
Yes, sir. And I rode that momentum because for those who don't know, Doc is with him getting drunk and on the bender, it's because he's on a little vacation this month.
Yep,
minus one or two surprises, but Doc will be on the vacation. You know, this is the Doc drinking summer tour, July 2022. But I rode that momentum with the win, and I went down to Brew City for the Franklin Fair. Found myself in a triple threat match. It was myself versus Aaw versus CJ Cole. I had some cool stuff.
Aaw is a new, I guess, graduate of the Thumper's Den. I was actually thinking about that before this. If I maybe should have invited him on since he would have had a full weekend, but I'm not saying that he'll be on next week, but you guys should probably keep listening and get the word on a new up and coming talent in the Milwaukee area.
Definitely a hard hitter.
Yep,
nice.
yep.
Yeah, the match is definitely hard hitting. They won CJ. They're both graduates, but a little bit younger than me. They thought they would try to take me out, do the 2-on-1 situation, but selfishness got to the best of them as they were both trying to pin me. It didn't work out. I had some cool things. I did a double flatliner on both of them with Juan on top of CJ's shoulders. And then we finished with CJ taking out Wall with a Canadian destroyer. He tried going for a Canadian destroyer on me. I caught him in a jackknife power bomb, laid him out 1, 2, 3, baby. And then later that night, I bet the fans didn't predict this at a fair show. It ended in a battle royal.
What? Never.
I know, like, no
Never.
one expected it, but it wasn't for like the Ferris Festival belt, even though it was. It was more for winner became #1 contender for the Bruce City title and got to wrestle Stacy Monday at the 4th of July fair. And it came down to me, JP, and Sean Priest. I eliminated JP, almost eliminated Sean Priest, but Sean Priest got the best of me.
Told you, man. It was just like this month singles run almost started out really well.
I know, Sean. I mean, technically I wasn't pinned, so still doing strong.
That's vegan power. You can't stop the vegan.
Oh, yeah. That makes me feel worse.
Like you can't stop a vegan who also does voodoo. That's what it really is. It's a combination. It's not just one.
Yeah, it's never been done before, actually.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give one more thing too. Well, at the Franklin Fair, I saw a very old familiar face that pretty sure a lot of you guys haven't seen for a while, but a lot of people missed him. Jesse Bush was at the Franklin Fair.
Oh, awesome.
Good dude.
Yeah,
Good
it was his birthday that day, and he showed up and walking around, and I was telling man, like, we miss him. Jesse, I know you're probably one of the 20s to 25 people who listen to this.
Yep. There are 20s and 20s of fans out there.
Definitely, you know, I know he's telling me he has the urge, but act on the urge, bro. Wrestling misses you. I mean, do what's best for you, but no, we all miss you, but it's definitely cool to see Jesse.
Truth.
I feel like last time I saw Jesse was he repped the match at Ring of Honor.
Some of us were there with him that weekend.
Yeah, Baxter got kicked in the dick by Silas, and Mav got put through the ring by Josh Woods.
That's the one. And I think Perch was on that show as well. No, he was on the one in Milwaukee. Yep.
There we go. All right. Baxter, what did you do this past weekend?
Well, it wasn't anything about me wrestling. Again, I've been on and off this year over the last year or two. I've been watching as much as I can, but I've been on a new little workout regime. It fucking sucks, but afterwards I feel really good about it. So hopefully it'll affect my performance and ability to entertain. And you know, I'll keep it at that.
Oh no, he's luxuriously getting stronger. Y'all better watch out.
His shoulder's gonna be so big he can't get to the ropes.
Yep.
Well, it's more like my forearm is really big. Never mind.
Oh, all right.
Hey. Awesome. Perch.
Yeah, we had a busy week. Kick things off on Thursday. We were in town for GCW. Had 4 shows this week. Kicked it off on Thursday in Detroit, Friday in St. Louis, Sunday in Evansville, Indiana, and Monday in a backyard. It was wonderful. Detroit was pretty cool. It was back at the Knights of Columbus, where I was there earlier in the year, where Rena took on Charlie Evans in that killer death match. Was back at that arena. Had some fun matches. Opening scramble with Tony Deppen, Dark Chic, Alec Price, Yoya, and Jimmy Lloyd. All of them very distinct characters. Very cool. Alec Price, awesome wrestler from the East Coast, Boston. The first time really getting to work with him. So very cool. Next match I had was Ninja Mac against Kelvin Tankman. Those two put on. That was a hell of a fight. Brought the Detroit crowd to their feet. I had a match with Horror Slam against SGC. So some guys with Detroit ties. Tommy Vendetta was one guy who I recognized from the team. And yeah, they ended up battling SGC throughout the entire arena, the entire Knights of Columbus. Going back to one of my first ever shows at the Knights of Columbus in West Dallas, watching Brew City wrestling, and the action spilled out to the fans. I joined wrestling the next week. So that's very nostalgic when I am at a Knights and action spills into the crowd. It's very fun. I think Baxter was security for that time. At War Games at Knights of Columbus, when the action spilled out into the crowd, and I was saying how
I do remember that night.
It's very cool to see. And then after intermission, there were some death matches. Our love and prayers to Hoodfoot. He got injured in one of his matches. I was ringside as it was happening. Ref Adam took the best precautions, and we made sure that we got him to the back and got him out safe and sound. So our love and prayers to Hoodfoot as he's recovering. We saw him later on throughout the week, and he's hanging in there. But the match right after that, we had Shane Mercer against Akira. And I love seeing Shane Mercer hit that moonsault and battery. But this time it was through a door. It was pretty damn cool.
He probably held Akira up there forever.
Yeah, well, he was up there for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Akira's probably a teddy bear in his hand.
Yeah, it was wild. Good build up for a wild finish. And then the main event that night was a triple threat death match with Theodore, Mido, and Cole Radrick, the tag team of Lucha Extremas and Cole Radrick in a triple threat. Awesome match, wild, chaotic. At one point, I slid into a pin, and it was it may not sound like much, but given the ground about 10, 12 minutes into a death match with 3-4 panes of glass that got destroyed.
I was gonna say that didn't sound comfortable at all. That you slid anywhere.
Many tubes. That was a wild one, but took the right precautions, came out safe on the other end, and it was a close one, close 2 count. I had to do what I had to do to make sure. So that's the life of a referee. The crowd on the replay, you could see, was like, "Whoa!"
That did not sound like a little thing at all when you said you slid. Don't slide. Don't slide. Step. Carefully lay down.
Yeah. Yep. So luckily, Alex Cologne is a gentleman who I've been able to pick his brain a little bit when it comes to death matches, and really got to talk to him throughout the weekend. So I would kind of bring what I do in death matches to the table, and he would kind of let me know why certain things work and why certain things may not work. So yeah, definitely took it all in this weekend and trying to find a good hybrid style for myself, being prepared going forward. I could see the excitement in the fans' eyes for that moment, which is what we want to harness, but doing it the right way and the safe way is the best going forward. But yeah, awesome time. Great show. The next day we traveled out to St. Louis. So Detroit to St. Louis, a nice 8-hour drive. Drove about halfway in the night, the other half in the morning. A little Waffle House in there to boot. And at Pop's nightclub, an awesome place, cool joint, cool atmosphere. You could see the show from really anywhere in the building. A cool balcony that surrounded the entire place. I took it all in. Joey Janela against David Richards was a match that I watched from the crowd, from the balcony, from the way back, from the curtain. I took it in from all vantage points at that nightclub. I love being able to feel those moments. Ended up having to open and scramble again with Alec Price and Yoya in there, Mad Dog Conley, and Jeffrey Johns. So a handful of people that we've worked with over the old Mad Dog and Jeff Johns,
God,
couple
yeah.
guys we've been on setting up with, and just doing our part. It's always nostalgic. I love the scramble matches, because that's how we all come into this world. it's working through those and earning those opportunities, and that was just very cool to be a part of. Really enjoyed it. Next match I had that night was Axon. Had never seen him before, but good, athletic, against Ninja Mac again. Ninja brought out all stops, and they fought kind of a blood sport style match. Very cool, hard hitting as well. And then ended up having the main event that night in St. Louis for the Ultra Violent Championship, held by Alex Colon. He was defending his title against Cole Radrick. This was a intense match, one of the bigger responsibilities that I've been blessed to handle. Being prepared and ready for it, I dressed a little more accordingly for it. After having talked with Alex, the day before, I wanted to make sure that my next opportunity at a death match, I would be even more prepared. Well, it turned out it was the next day, and it was him. And it was a good time, just a good match. Cologne keeps the title. Wild finish in that match. Wild. Everyone's safe coming out of it, but definitely a little beaten up. But we were able to stay safe. At one point, at the end of the night, I had taped up my arm with a few shirts on, a few shirt sleeves, I should say, and I was wearing a black long sleeve shirt with the GCW shirt over it. And when I took off the black shirt, the white sleeves that I was wearing on my left arm were just soaked in blood. It was gnarly. And as I peeled it away little by little, my arm was unscathed. So the techniques are already paying some dividends, and we're working on a nice little hybrid style for the next time that this straw gets pulled for death matches. But yeah, working an ultra violent championship match was an awesome feeling and cool experience. We were off to Evansville, Indiana for the Evansville Coliseum and the send-off of the Rock and Roll Express from that very Coliseum. They used to do South loops, and Evansville was a loop that they hit. So it was a big time wrestling territory, especially in the 80s. A lot of WWF guys coming up through there. You could feel the history in the floorboards and the balconies and the seating and everything. Just a very cool honor to be in that arena. First match I had was Blake Christian against Shane Mercer. They put on a hell of a match. High flying all around. Mercer ended up getting curb stomped through a door to finish that match.
Whoa.
Didn't see it coming one bit.
That makes it entertaining.
It was entertaining. And Mercer was still beaten up a little bit from that Detroit night, so it was he was wearing some battle scars coming into that match. And then I had Dark Chic against Billy Starks, which was sweet. Billy Starks, awesome. She's a cool storyteller and good wrestler. She's not as mean as she is at Black Label Pro. For some reason, she's super mean up in there. But no, she put on an awesome match. She fought Dark Chic, which was like my first time working with Dark Chic in a singles match. It worked in a scramble earlier in the week, but just talk about an awesome wrestler. Holy smokes, the ability to come across to the fans and the psychology that's there. 20 years of pro wrestling, knows a thing or two about it, and the ability to work that match and not necessarily be heel, but to be the heel in the match. But the way it was done was brilliant. Awesome psychology to it, and a cool match. One that I took away saying that was one of my favorites from the week. And then the next day, backyard wrestling was unbelievable. pull up to this yard in the middle of Nowheresville, legit, like farm field, awesome looking house, big backyard, pool, patio, just grills going, drinks, the whole works. And then down right past the pool deck was a giant Merle's wrestling ring. and a trampoline and just tons of stuff. Awesome experience. I went into that show realizing, we're all playing a character here and having fun. Adam Ref was wearing some ref shorts as well. Max Recon was wearing some ref attire. There's another gentleman there, John, who had some ref pants. So I went in thinking, well, I gotta bring something to the table. So I went in with the mindset, I'm playing the role of a younger brother of one of the backyard wrestlers who would like tag along to the shows. Just to, it's his older bro and it's wrestling, so he's gonna tag along. And whether he's like annoying or a little bit defiant or something, the brother would throw him a referee's shirt, be like, hey, you're reffing. We got no one else. You're not our first choice, but to tell you the truth, we just about go with no referee, but we need someone. So here you go, kid. Here's a double XL referee shirt. You're reffing for us today.
Nice.
So that was my approach, and that was the referee, and then I did that day. So I came out and I refereed shirtless with the ref shirt in my pocket.
Love it.
I wore my Iversons and my black shorts and socks, one knee pad, straight off of the YMCA hoops, and rocked that shirt in my pocket and used it to dab my sweat. First match I had was it was Dak the Destroyer against Pizza Cat Jr. Pretty cool match. Dak the Destroyer had Slade in his corner, and some shenanigans ensued. I ended up getting a chop in on Slade in there. Didn't even think twice about it. It's like, taking it. Younger bro of Yarder would definitely take that chop right away. He'd get his. A fun match. Dak ended up hitting a 450 out of nowhere for a finish. I've never seen the guy hit a move like that before. Blew me away. And then the next match I had was Skin Ripper, Masha against the great Akira. That was a sweet match. Hard hitting. They put on a legitimate pro wrestling match. They used the trampoline a little bit too. I ended up getting a couple of near falls on the trampoline and jumped up for it. Nick Gage on commentary is just a bonus to listen to. And they were close enough where you could kind of hear them in the ring at the time. But just definitely worth checking out on the weekend. Any of those shows in that backyard wrestling from the 4th of July was about as fun as it gets. But fun weekend.
Yeah, it looked fun. Joey Janela's backyard wrestling looks like a good time. I saw the suplex he did walking forever. It's good shit.
The ceremonial main event took place where Jimmy Lloyd against what was the wrestler name of it? I can't think right now. But to start the match, they lit a firework in the middle, and it was lighting up, and 25 rockets in the air. And the last one, it tipped over, and you could see MLJ and the guys just running, and it was empty, but it still had us freaked. Marshall Mathers was Marcus Mathers was the other guy against Jimmy Lloyd in that match. Very fun. Jimmy had me light the table. I used some experience I had from Tyler Sullivan and Percy Drews at ICW when I had to torch a table. This time I was equipped with a Perch lighter in pocket, just in case.
Hey.
Sure enough, I was asked to come in and light a table and hit it for that main event. Very fun.
Yeah, yep. Gotta always be on brand.
Yep, sponsored by Perch.
Hell yeah, for the ref brand. So why don't we get into talking about our topic for this week? Zach, we'll start with you. Our topic for this week is what have we liked about the first half of 2022? We talked about our goals for the second half. Let's talk, look back and talk about the things we like.
Yeah, I think me and you might piggyback off each other a little bit.
Good chance.
I don't know why, just a hunch. But so of course, one of the biggest ones I'll talk about because it was on my goal list too. I got to check it off. Debuting for AAW Alive. That was definitely a surreal moment. The whole situation. We'll pull back the curtain a little, but not too much. We were informed by a good friend of ours about how AAW was interested in possibly using us. We showed up, did what anyone else would do, pay our dues, helped out with setup and tear down, and got the word that there might be a potential opportunity for us to be on the show. From there, Doc and I game plan, we strategized. We weren't really 100% sure. We didn't know we were on the show until like 3 days prior to the show. But going there, being able to hear Country Grammar hit on Bourbon Street was definitely something cool. I know Doc and a piece to it. We were both like just very quiet, just hoping it would happen when we got the word. We were super pumped. So yeah, that's probably like the biggest highlight of 2022. If you want to add on to that, Doc.
No, that's that's been a day one goal. So to finally get the opportunity and for them to not only use us that first time, but for them to use us again and give us as much time as they have to work backstage and talk, and the chance to be there with so many of the boys that we started in this business with and get these opportunities with. It's been an awesome ride these past couple months.
Yes, sir. And then another highlight, I would say, would be winning the 0-1 USA Tag Team Championships. That was another goal. I know definitely a bigger goal for Doc at the time before me, but when Doc and I first started tagging, Doc would always bring up 0-1 USA. We were definitely got on the target list and just be able to be like, hey man, in a year ago, we were on the pre-show trying to just get on the main show. To now being the tag champs is something I truly take with honor. Definitely proud to be a tag champ there. On top of that, we became 2-time ICW and 2-time Aaw Alive tag champs. So collecting championships is definitely something a goal of mine and a goal of I know Doc too, is to make Country Era name, and like I think slowly but surely we're establishing our tag as a name in the Midwest. We're not there yet, but with with patience comes time, and I think we're on the right track. Individual goals. Other highlights. I've always wanted to do an Ironman match. I know Doc's not a fan of matches that are long and require.
A goal was to do one. I've done one, and I have decided I don't like it.
I actually do enjoy them, so I don't mind them. Another highlight, 4th of July weekend. Got my new puppy, Athena. For those who follow the social medias at Z Hendricks brand, I took a puppy belt pick, and she made her little debut with the belt. So we got a third puppy in the family. So now it's Mindy, Tito, and Athena.
Bigger family.
Yes, sir. And I guess other highlights are starting to get we're starting to be able to talk to people and get pointed in the right direction of places we want to be at. Still trying to find the keys to unlock the door, but we at least have like a code to get through the gate. So yeah, those are definitely some big highlights for me, is just like being able to start getting finding places where I want to go and be at, and being able to know who I need to reach out to and getting contact information.
Hell yeah. Other highlights. Yeah, got to talk about the 2-time Zawa tag champs and ICW tag champs. For me personally, the belt doesn't mean much, but the trust and working towards these opportunities and getting these opportunities mean a lot more. So I'm always excited to see that, and that correlates to our growth as a tag team and wrestlers. I think we can all agree is that early on, and when you're training and you're in your first days, you realize all you really want is just a little respect. You just want a little respect from everybody, for people to appreciate what you do as a performer. And seeing now that we are getting a little bit of that feels awesome, and that's just addicting. Want some more of that?
Yes, sir.
0-1 tag titles. 0-1 was another day one goal for me, so that was just to get there. So now to be a champion and such a storied company, to have such storied titles as the NWA Midwest tag titles is an awesome feeling. Even I'll admit. Also for me personally, this wasn't a day one goal because I don't think they were a company day one, but Paradigm, getting to debut there and do my first UWFI match was awesome. And it was a great moment to share with Zach. There's a whole, happy that I that I made it to that point, because that was that month where I kept getting dropped on my head every weekend. So to get there in one piece was an awesome feeling. And
you got dropped on your head in the match.
Yep, and then I got dropped on my head again, but minor detail.
I do have another one going off of stuff. In 2021, was it? Doc and I went to Florida for Mania weekend, and it was just Doc and I and Perch. Perch was there too, us three. And then this year it was the same three, but we got to bring a lot of people from our camp and let them experience it. The Caribbeans went, Raven Radix went, CJ Cole went, Armando Alvarez went, and Chucky Bates. So being able to and Gunnar Wicks, and being able to have us going from three to actually getting an entire house and getting our camp to come down and make some noise in other states is awesome to represent, because I feel like the Thumpers Den Academy does have a lot of great talent, great workers, but just I feel like we're a little bit shadowed, and being able to have anyone go out and actually show what our camp's capable of is a big win.
Hell yeah. Doing it for the team. And actually gonna say going to Texas this year is a big highlight for me, because it goes back to that respect. Last year we didn't really have too many bookings, and this year we had a lot more. We had a good amount, and just having that respect where people are like, yeah, we will use you guys in another state that we're not from, that we are running a show. It does mean a lot. And I think that's it for me. Baxter, why don't we talk about things you enjoyed at the beginning of the year?
Well, I took a couple of notes. I wasn't sure if it was a personal thing or mainstream wrestling.
Whatever. It's whatever. I wanted it to be as broad as possible. Whatever you liked from the first half of 2022.
Well, I'll do both, and I'll keep it brief because I don't want to take over or whatever. But from I guess a mainstream, and I'm finger quoting for those who are listening. From a mainstream standpoint, my some of my favorite moments included Stone Cold and Kevin Owens. I didn't think that would become the match that it was. Not that it was the best match ever, but I just thought it would be a KO
It was
show.
more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I thought it was an
awesome
KO
moment.
show and a stunner. But
way to miss it, Zach.
No,
Oh,
I
my
watched
bad.
that match.
Oh, it was the next day. Yeah, that was right too.
I watched everything live the second day, except I was in the restroom for Austin and Vince.
Vince, that's what it was. Austin and Vince. Yeah. We
Okay.
watched night one at the house. Night two, you missed Austin and Vince.
So that was really cool for me. Also, I probably mentioned it before. Like, I've always been a Pat McAfee fan, borderline McAfee mark, but I loved him against Theory. I thought that was. I mean, we knew it was going to be what it was, but it was still super entertaining. And
I would say that might be one of my favorite hype videos.
Yeah,
On the first half of 2022, getting to know that much about McAfee's journey in wrestling. I did not realize he had actually been training.
I didn't either.
I doubt he's, on the road running indie shows. He might be under a mask, but I doubt he was doing that. But still, to just be like, training for that long, no idea.
I didn't know that either. But I was actually a fan of him as a player too, because he just he
was a physical fucking punter.
Yeah, he was like the only badass punter I had ever seen. So, and now I watch his show when I can and listen to him. So, just a big mark for McAfee. So, there's your plug, Mr. McAfee. Moving on. So personally, this year, one of my highs was me and Mav against a Gunner Wicks for a number of reasons. This was Rise to Honor 2022 in January. It was something that Mav and I had been talking about for a long time. Just I guess being heavyweight champions. Somehow we finagled that we'd be co-champions, and then wrestling Gunner, a guy we trained with and for sure trust for a long time. We just wanted to beat the piss out of each other, and we finally did. So that was super, super fun. And of course there was emotions involved where Mav and I, we had been tagging for years and just stopped getting along there for a hot second. Like that.
I hate to see good tag team split.
Man, it was difficult, but it happened, and I don't know. We were just riding the high, all three of us riding the high, beating the piss out of each other, and me personally, I took a little hiatus because a lot of people know my priorities have changed over the last year or two, which is great. But I've still loved wrestling, and after my little hiatus, I got to work with one of the best in the Midwest in Stacey Shadows. I got my title shot, and I was just honored. She can beat the piss out of a lot of people, and that month it was me. So that was super fun, and I'm just super grateful. And then my other brother, Ethan, I got to wrestle for the very first time. Never wrestled him before, so we get to have some fun and whoop on each other a little bit. So that was super fun. And then the last one I really liked is I grew up a fan of TLC matches, specifically the Hardys, as everyone knows. And I got to wrestle Gunner in a 2 out of 3 tables match, and I had never gone through a table prior to this match. So I always kind of wanted to, and that one's on YouTube on Will Pro Wrestling. There's a plug. And
I'm gonna turn that on right now.
It's Will Pro Wrestling is the channel, and it's one of those matches, Doc, that I watched that I didn't love the way that I moved and my ring positioning. I didn't love that, but I still I had a ton of fun just fucking around and going through tables and playing with the crowd. So I've just, as little as I've wrestled, man, have I enjoyed it this year. And I love wrestling. So that was a lot of bullet points, but man, it's a drug.
Yeah, man. Hey, as long as you're having fun, it's one of the best addictions you could have.
Yeah, man.
Perch, what have you enjoyed so far about this year?
Good year. Continuing with the theme from year to year, and the plan, a long time ago, kind of setting a sight, wanting to get experience in southeastern Wisconsin, and then wanting to get experience and want to be known in Wisconsin, and then wanting to be known in Illinois, and then the Midwest. This year has been really focusing on the Midwest, which is awesome. Kind of from one step to the next, being able to build up a level of consistency through promotions that I've been able to work with, and new ones that I'm able to meet for the first times. It's very cool to experience, and this year has been fun traveling, making places like Detroit a common spot, Indiana, Crown Point, out to Columbus, down to Kansas City. Just very fun to get the experience working in the Midwest section of my training. To think about my first time in a spot like Detroit, and the crowd going, "F this guy," Detroit style, "F you," to coming out just as recently as last week, and a little bit more of a respect from the fans, knowing that, oh, this guy's going to give us a fair shake, he'll give us a fair match. That's kind of what I'm looking to do. So very happy that the year is starting out with being able to get some good Midwest experience. I love it. The collective weekend was phenomenal. That was so cool to experience Texas. Always wanted to go out to Texas, and especially for wrestling. So to experience that was so much fun, with GCW and Black Label, and even a little bit of Impact Wrestling. I thought back to the back-to-back matches of Hoodfoot and Madman Pondo at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning in a crazy death match for Planet Death. And then the next match I had was later that evening, an Ultimate X match for the X Division title. It's funny to think about from one show to the next, being able to learn and gain experience as a referee. And this year has been fun. I would say really happy with learning more lucha wrestling, and being comfortable with giving rides to a lot of the luchadors as well, and enjoying car rides, and being able to try and learn as much as I can. So any chance I get, I'm trying to learn from luchadors. I don't speak much Spanish, but they speak a heck of a lot more English than I do Spanish. But I can speak a heck of a lot more Spanish now that I've gotten to talk to the luchadors and work lucha shows. So very happy with how that's turned out really over the past 6 months, and in continuing. El tiempo está ahora para la lucha libre estelar de la noche. I'll be the Bruce Buffer for lucha matches one day, and it all starts with that sentence right there. So it may not mean much now; it's still got to get polished out. But very happy with progress along the lines of learning other cultures and other styles. A lot more experience, I would say, with the death matches, being able to work with Game Changer Wrestling, especially throughout the Midwest, and work death matches every once in a while and learn from it. A lot of good experience coming up with Dysfunction and ICW Milwaukee, and the Insane 8 as it comes around as well. It's cool to go back to draw on that experience and learn a heck of a lot more. Gaining the experience a little more consistently. So happy with the knowledge and the wisdom gained over the past year so far, it seems like it's been 5 years crammed into like 6 months. And my God, it's so much fun every step of the way. Being able to work all the venues that we worked and share memories and experiences with the people that I have. You know, we've said it from day one. We want to continue to get better and enjoy it every step of the way. And every day that journey, you know, becomes more clear. That don't know what lies ahead, but going to put in some work to try and make it better. And this year has been just that.
Hell yeah. And on to the second half of 2022. All right, fellas, we are winding down. This is a rare long one. Why don't we get through what we're doing this weekend? I'll go first because mine is short. I'm probably going to be drunk. I got no plans this weekend. Gonna just continue to rest up, relax, get everything right for a return down the line. Zach, what do you got coming up this weekend?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow, start off the weekend at Summerfest for Brew City Wrestling. Don't know what I'm doing yet, but we'll be at Brew City Wrestling tomorrow and Friday for Summerfest. I think it's pretty well known that a lot of the boys like working the Summerfest shows. Always a good time. Summerfest always takes care of us, supplies us drinks, and most importantly, they supply us beer. So Dre, we can be drunk with you in spirit.
Yep.
And then after Summerfest, Saturday, I'm traveling down to Northland wrestling to take on the Polish Rock.
Polish Rock.
Yes, sir.
He's gonna get you, sucker.
Who is the Polish Rock?
I'm not gonna.
He's a Chicago guy. He basically the Polish Rock.
He is literally the Rock if the Rock was Polish.
Oh, I didn't mean disrespect. I just didn't know who he was.
Yeah,
no.
He's a Chicago guy.
I won't say his name because I listened to his promo. He didn't say my name. He said Conti, yeah. So I hope you're listening. I hope you're the one of 20s listening, Polish Rock.
I'm sure.
I'm coming to lay this down smack on you, you jabroni. And then Sunday, I don't think I have anything. Not yet.
All right. Perch, what do you got this weekend?
This Friday and Saturday, going to be at Logan Square Auditorium in Chicago for Women's Wrestling Army. Coming into town to do a 2-day TV taping. I got a little experience working with Bobby Cruz and Maria Kanellis about a month ago or a couple weeks ago, ahead of that Warrior Wrestling show, and they wanted me back for this TV taping coming up. So a very awesome opportunity. Sierra was in that match that I worked, so I wonder if I'll see her this weekend. It would be a blessing if I did. But it's going to be an all-women's show. So I'm happy to be a nice, impartial, neutral referee from Milwaukee, and I'll be representing. So looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, brother. Baxter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will also be at Summerfest, both tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Don't know who I'm wrestling. Don't care. Because I'm pretty amazing. So I'm going to put on a show for y'all.
Yeah.
A little asterisk. It'll be in my 5 years of wrestling. It'll be my mom's first time watching me wrestle. And we're from a small town up north. So like they think Milwaukee is like, just the hood all over. So, so like it'll be like, just expanding her horizon.
Nothing but bullets 24/7. Just
exactly. So
all the hour, every hour.
Yeah, she's wearing a bulletproof vest, I think. It'll also, so the reason she's coming is her and my sister are going to be watching my a 1.5-year-old daughter, who's also going to be seeing her father wrestle for the first time ever. So I'm going to try to do my best to stay alive, but also do some really dumb shit for Summerfest. It's the world's biggest music festival.
Yeah,
So,
wrong. Hell yeah.
So I have to survive because it's a 2-day show. I have to survive at least till Friday.
Yeah, Friday, all bets are off.
Exactly.
Go out with a bang, baby.
I'm really excited. It's one of my favorite shows of the year, and I'm really excited to be back, and I'm grateful for that. And then after that, I have a full week off where I'm just going to get as drunk as Doc as I can. And I'm just going to just eat breakfast and drink and watch wrestling. It's going to be fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, not sorry if I FaceTime any of you either between, tomorrow and the next week and a half.
Hell yeah, brother. Awesome.
I understand if you ignore. I totally understand.
We would.
I mean, when it's at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Hey, I mean, you might be giving me a ride home at that time.
Yeah, well, enjoy it, brother. And as always, welcome back. Y'all kill it at Summerfest in Northland and at Women's Revolution Army. Awesome. All right. And with that, I think it's about time we take it home. Let's go.
Nope.
Oh no.
Baxter has a seltzer review. It might not be a weekly thing, but there is a goddamn seltzer review.
I happen to have one, and it's timely because at my local liquor store, if you bought one case of Vizzy, you got a Summerfest ticket, and that means I didn't have to buy Summerfest tickets for my family that's coming in. I just had to buy
a bunch of alcohol.
So I'm just gonna review the one that I have in my hand. It is Mimosa Hard Seltzer, and it's pineapple orange. That's pretty good. Boy, what's my scale out of 10 or 5 or 100?
I believe it's been 5.
5? All right. I will say that is if you like mimosas, that's a solid 4.2. 4.20 actually.
Oh.
That was on accident. I brought it
repeating, of course.
Yeah. Repeating. The zeros never end. It's pretty good. I kind of bought it just because for the tickets, and it's pretty good. So thank you, Zach. I almost forgot about that segment.
I'm here.
He was very excited for it.
I'm gonna bring you one just for bringing that back to life.
I hope we bring plenty. I'll bring some. I'm gonna definitely bring some of those hard Mountain Dews to the Summerfest, especially since we have a car ride there and a car ride back.
True, but remember, they're gonna check our bags, so you got to conceal a few if you're bringing them to the van.
I'm just gonna tell them they're Mountain Dew.
You're right. You're right.
Energy drink.
You are right.
No, you put it in the trailer the day before.
Well, the day before was earlier today.
Oh, well, you guys are idiots.
Where was Drunk Logical Doc a day ago?
That's how it's always done. You just put it in the trailer.
We'll figure it out. We are pretty creative. I think.
There's always ways to get it in.
I'm not that creative if you watch my matches, but we'll figure something out.
When it comes to drinking, we're A+.
We will not be had.
C-.
Yeah, wrestling C-, drinking A+. All right, now with that, I think we can take it home. Final thoughts or questions, Perch?
Yeah, man, Jesse Bush taught me so much at a young, impressionable time in my referee days. First couple of years, he was someone who I really looked up to, and still do. What a great dude, genuine human being. I wanted to save it to the end. I praise Jesse. You guys brought him up, and it just brought a smile to my face. Just a true professional. From seeing him work at Mondo Lucha to studying the way he handled himself, the way, in the ring, seamless transition, flow from one company to the next, he really set an example that I looked up to. And to have someone that I, came in through the curtain, and actually seeked advice from, he was someone who was one of the first people who was looking through the curtain at me, looking to give advice. It was like a very cool person that I could go to and say, Jesse, did you watch? And can I get some feedback? So, I give so much thanks and love and gratitude to Jesse Bush for the help and helping me as a referee. So just wanted to throw it out there. If he ever, makes a comeback or wants to dip his toe back into professional wrestling, I can't wait to cross paths again.
Hell yeah. Jesse was one of those first refs that I had noticed. I was like, hey, that guy is pretty good. And
the first, if plain and simple, like you said, that's the first rep I said, that guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like he stood out, like, wow, huh?
Yeah.
It is that easy. Or this guy takes it serious. Yeah.
And also Bax totally knew you were gonna drop suckets before that swanton.
Yeah, my swanton was suspect, but
the suckets were very good.
I couldn't help myself.
Very X-Pac, very quick, short ones.
Yeah.
Lots of intent. Zach, final thoughts or questions?
I'll jump on the Jesse Bush thing too. Jesse, put him over, and I remember being very young. There was I was kind of like upset about some things of my progression, and Jesse was a guy who actually reached out and kept talking to me. And then seeing him last Saturday was great. And then just him telling me he's still keeping track of stuff and he had high praises for me and you, Doc, and telling us he was super proud of how the way we've been progressing and all that. It's just cool to that's a guy who always looked out for me, and he's still watching out for us. So yeah.
Baxter, final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on the same thing. I know we're putting over the same guy, but it's for a good reason. There's one thing I never forget is the genuine people in the business, and the ones that not only are good but treat you the right way. And he's one of those guys, and the people in this chat are included. So again, Jesse is he always treated me well, and his work's good, and he was always doing the right thing. So much respect and appreciate you, bro.
Hell yeah. I already said my I guess little thoughts on Jesse. I guess I can add some more. He was always a respected guy, and we always talk about paying our dues, and he was one of those guys that's first one there, last one to leave all the time. Real model guy that you can watch and just know what the right things to do are. He was always the one that was a step ahead of the promoter in what they needed. He knew what you needed. He just he needed you to figure out what you needed, which I always thought was an interesting thing. And seeing him at Mondo and GLCW doing his thing, and his getting his shots on Ring of Honor, just always a guy that was doing the right thing. But with that, I think it's finally time we take it on home. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow us on all the social medias, tell all the wrestling promotions to book us, so we can show them what we learned from Jesse. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1